Hello everyone, it's Daphne and this is the second take of my video. I want to tell you all about my nails. I want to tell you how I began having long nails and why on earth I have long nails. I mean, why do I make my life so uncomfortable by having these almost 2 inch, 6 centimeters long nails on my fingers? Why am I so exaggerated and out of the ordinary? And why do I differ from the rest of the world? Why do I make everything in connection with the nails be so difficult? Why, when I go shopping for furniture, I have to make sure that the furniture has handles that I can access easily? Like there are some types of drawers which are spring connected and you push on them when you want to open them. That is my ideal type of drawer. Why, when I go rent a house, I first have to check that I can access all the furniture in a way that is convenient to me? Why am I making my life so difficult? Why am I unable to drive shift stick and I can only drive automatic? And why on earth do I need a big ass SUV to have room to steer? You will find out all the answers to these questions and many other questions that you may have in this series called My Nails Passion. And this is a title that was suggested by one of my dear subscribers. You know who you are. I love you. You are very kind and very sweet. So, to begin, I would like to ask you to give this video a like because I want to get the news out there to everyone. And I would like to ask you to share the video because if you are curious why, so are all your friends, all your family, all those people you tag on my Facebook video. They all want to know why. So the story takes us back to when I was a young child, and this is why my love for makeup and nails started. I remember that my mother received a ruby rose kit with makeup and lipstick. It was gigantic. It had like 50 colors or something. She never used it. Every day I would dip my finger in it and apply the wildest blue eyeshadow to my eyes, and I would go look in the mirror and make all those faces. And the kit had a smell of rose that is still in my nostrils now, so many years later. And this is how I fell in love with makeup. I also did my sister's makeup and I also did the cat's makeup. The cat was what they call a Burma, and it had light gray fur, just like Ozzy that I have here with me, admiring me. But Ozzy is a ragdoll, as you all know if you've been on my channel for a while. Fast forward to when I was 12, 13, something like that. I had very short nails and I enjoyed chopping them off as short as possible. I would trim maybe every 5 days. I could not stand the idea that there is nail over the free edge. Yeah, that's me, the same person with these huge fingernails. Back then I was so obsessed with having them very short. It was like a compulsory thing to do. And one day as I was walking to school, I saw this shop which sold nail polish and makeup. I think it was probably the makeup that first drew me in. So I entered and I can tell you it was like paradise. And I can also tell you that for a very long time I dreamed, as in dreaming at night, not fantasizing, just dreaming, of owning everything in that shop. That's why on YouTube I have the perfect excuse to have a shop worth of makeup and play with it all and show it to you guys. So I entered in the shop and they also had nail polish. They had hundreds of nail polishes. Cheapos from China, but they were lined up by color, by category. They were very nicely presented in the clear shop windows. And I remember the one that stood out the most was the hollow. Thumbs up if you're a holosexual like me. I became obsessed with holographic glitter. I remember there was one particular that I liked very, very, very much. It had chunks of hollow bars in silver suspended in clear nail polish. Wow, that was my favorite, and I actually spent my lunch money on buying that, and then I was just staring at the nail polish on the way to school in the bright sun, and I could not take my eyes off it. It was so, so beautiful. And the first thing I did, of course, when I got to school in a break, I painted my nails with the silver hollow. And then the teacher came in and asked, "Why is this smell in the room? What happened? It smells like nail polish." That's a very unmistakable scent. And yeah, well, I did not know that was a problem, so I lifted my hand and I said, "It's me, I painted my nails." And the teacher said, "Okay, fine, nice, you're a good student. Never do it again in school. You should paint your nails not in school, somewhere else." Okay, so I got that, and ever since I started going regularly to the shop and buying an eyeshadow and a lipstick. And I remember I had this most unmatching brown lipstick that I shared with my desk mate. She had a different complexion than mine. She was a sort of a caramel color. She was always very tanned because she spent a lot of time outdoors while I was always in the house reading. So the brown 90s style lipstick looked so good on her and so bad on me. I looked like I had just eaten chocolate, very strange. And my nail polish collection would gradually increase to my parents' desperation because they realized I was spending all my lunch money on nail polish. So, what else could they do other than cut off my lunch money? And there I was, starving and eating from my desk mate's lunch because I betrayed myself by buying nail polish and makeup. But one thing was very clear to me very early on. Applying all that beautiful nail polish to my stubby nails was not a good idea because there wasn't enough space. So I wanted to have more space to put the pretty nail polish on. And that's how I started growing my nails. So I was already 14, 15 by then. I was in high school, and you know, when you're in puberty, you get hormones, and those make your nails grow faster. Somehow, I just wish that my nails and my hair grew as fast now as they did back then. Sadly, they don't anymore. Which could be a good thing because I spend so much money on manicures, as you know, and I would not like to have to go get my nails done every 2 weeks. Every month is enough. Yes, if you're curious about that, probably I will have to make a separate video about how often I get my nails done, why I choose this shape, or any other questions that you might have. Please, if you have any questions regarding how, type them down in the comment bar and I will be sure to address them in the next video of the series. So I started growing my nails, and very soon I realized that the best shape for nails not to break is a more square, rounded at the sides. And that is the shape I had them in. Of course, in school, you are not allowed to go with nails that were painted crazy colors. I have always liked crazy colors. Beige, not for me. Clear, not for me. Give me the hollows, give me the blues, give me the blacks and the purples. I wasn't so much into red back then. I had the craziest pastels in my collection. So what I would do every Friday afternoon after school, I would get my two best friends and I would do their manicure and mine at the same time, and imagine the smell in my room when that was happening. Three girls drying their nails. Of course, mine were the prettiest and the longest, but I'm quite sure they were happy to get a free manicure that made their nails look great. And then I would wear my crazy colors. I think one of my big favorites was black nail polish topped with that hollow bars of silver I was telling you about earlier. That was a big hit with me. And also, it took a very long time for them to dry because I would apply base coat, two coats of nail polish, hollow top coat, and then I would just have to sit around like this and do nothing for the rest of the day while I waited for my nails to dry. And that's how I got the hang of being very patient and doing things in a different way. I mean, I was able to put my jeans on, my very tight jeans that I wore back then, with not completely dry nails and still not have any problems with the nails. That is how expert I was at that. And so early in life, I learned to do things in a way that would not damage the nails. Like, I don't grab things like this from drawers. I am always very slow and very careful. And someone said this is a studied naturalness, which is correct. Everything I do is studied because I have to think of how to do things instead of just doing them. And that's why I'm a bit slower also. And this is a reason why my nails don't really break. It also requires a lot of focus. I can tell you that I was never a fan of drinking myself to death because then I would not know how to behave with my nails, and I did not want to wake up like other girls did from drinking and not remember things, because the biggest nightmare that I have is to this day that my hands would be chopped off in an accident and then I would have no hands to put nails on. So I started growing my nails a bit longer and applying all that nail polish and all that nail polish scent in the house and everywhere. And of course, that alarmed my parents, especially my father, who had a bit of a liver issue and he could not stand the nail polish scent. So he noticed that my nails were growing longer and longer, and for some reason he really disliked that. The association with the unpleasant smell, or he just did not like my nails being long. So what happened for most of my teenage years was that every month or so my father would just grab my hand and with nail clippers and chomp away at my nails in a way that made them unrecognizable, so I had to trim them very short and start all over. Now, my parents had me as their first child, so I was their first rebellious teenager. And probably around that time, there weren't so many books on child rearing and how you're supposed to deal with a teenager full of hormones who only wants to rebel. So their only way to cope was the one that they used. The more pressure my father put on me shortening my nails, the more I wanted to have long nails. longer nails, the longest nails. And I'm thinking now what an impact this had over my whole existence. Probably if they hadn't made, and he particularly, hadn't made such a huge deal over my nails and their length, I would have short nails or much shorter right now, and I would not be so obsessed with nails. But the moment of illumination happened, and I cannot go back right now. I feel that without nails, I have no fingers. We will talk about this extensively in a future video. What I wanted to tell you further is that my father's obsession with being in control of my teenage life became so intense that at a certain point he went to the principal of the high school where I was studying at the time, and he asked the guy to expel me for 3 days because I had long nails. Now, the principal knew me because he was my teacher, and he just laughed in my father's face and said, "Your girl is just fine. She's a good student. She only has the best grades. Let her be. Don't insist." I know this because the teacher told me. My father, of course, kept insisting, and I only stopped getting forced nail trimmings when I moved out. When I started living on my own, when I went to university. Because then I did not see my parents so often anymore. I would only see them on vacations because most of the time I would be studying away from them. So then the nails didn't even have such a great impact on my life anymore because I was living on my own. I took the bus a lot, and taking the bus and grabbing onto those handlebars with huge nails isn't very easy, and you can get hurt. And if any of you knows what it feels like to break a nail, you understand my pain. With acrylics, it's even more complicated. So the second biggest breakthrough came when I discovered gel nails, and I think this was around 2005 or 6, 2006 maybe. I went to this nail salon and I asked for a regular manicure, and back then I had an obsession with nail art, which also stems from the nail polish obsession. So I asked the girl to give me so and so. I remember that one of the first designs that that particular girl did on me was a checkered nail design with black and white, and it took her like 2 hours to paint each and every square of black and white, and the result looked magnificent. It was so beautiful. And the next time I went there, she said, "How about we try gel?" I was like, what's gel? And she said it's this substance that you apply over the nails and they are harder and less prone to breakage. I was so enthusiastic about that. How was there a way to have long nails and have less breakage? I had to try it. The big problem was that she wasn't very good with that. Ooh. I still remember after she applied it, a week later the nails were growing and I was running them through my hair like this, and all the gel at the cuticles would be lifted. Have you ever had that happen to you? If you did, you know what I'm talking about. It's not a nice feeling. And the more you run your hands through your hair, or even when you get dressed, the lift gets bigger and bigger. So after going to her twice in a month, I realized that was not okay for that process to happen. So I went to another salon that was bigger. It was called Perfect Nails. And the girl there did a much better job. My nails were quite long by then. They were still a more wearable shape, and she broke my pinky while filing them. She replaced it with a fake tip, a glue-on tip, which she then covered in gel. And I was very reluctant to that at first because I thought, these are not my natural nails, I don't like it. It was just on one finger. And I remember that I went to that salon for a long time and I was quite pleased with their services. They did not make my gel lift at the cuticle, and that was an excellent thing. And then I met someone who changed the way I saw nails because she loved the nails just as much as I did. And she loved having nails and she loved doing nails. And I think I'm going to tell you about her in the next installment and how our interaction has changed over the years. And right now, I don't know how I feel about her, but at that time, she was a great person that gave me courage and awesome nails. So I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. Perhaps I haven't answered all your questions. Perhaps there are some others that you would like answered. Please write them down in the comment bar below. Please subscribe to my channel if you are new here. I post a lot of nail related content and ASMR content, and I love doing makeup and skincare reviews. If you'd like to keep in touch more and to see more of my life, you should know that I post often on Instagram stories. And my Instagram username is Cosmetic Snob, just like the YouTube username. And what I do there is I show you snippets of my life, of how I chop down vegetables for salad. Because people ask, do you ever do anything? Do you cook? Do you clean? How do you do things? This video was the why. On Instagram, I'm going to show you the how, and I'm sure there are many other questions that you want answered. Just like those people in those Facebook groups where my golden nails video went viral. And I had so many likes and so many comments, and I am so grateful because all your interest makes me want to continue being the crazy nail lady. And the truth is, I see myself at the age of 90 still rocking long nails. Probably I'm gonna look like a corpse by then already. Maybe I'll be very skinny. Who knows? Only time will tell. Thank you very much for watching this video and for sticking around with me. You are very important and you motivate me to keep on making this video content for you. Have a wonderful day and I'll see you real soon.